It is Thursday morning, April the 25th. Rise and shine. It is time for Coffee Talk, and it is a beautiful morning. How are you? I'm Wesh 2, first warning meteorologist Eric Burris. We get together about 7 days a week or so to chat about what's going on in the world of weather. And listen, the Tower Cam network this morning is really showing it. Right? Mainly clear skies. This is a live look from our Mount Dora Tower Cam. Look how pretty that is. Like, I just want to go sit on the dock in the bay, wasting time. It's a beautiful morning, no matter where in Central Florida you are. Man, it's a day I wish I could just go sit and relax. First warning, live Doppler radar. Looking nice and quiet. No, ignore where it was moving. That was just from yesterday's Coffee Talk. I forgot to delete it. Outside we go. Look at the temperatures. So nice and comfortable. 62 in the city. It's 59 degrees in the villages, 57 outside in Ocala, and about 57 degrees as well in Titusville. So feels great outside. It's a lovely morning, but we're starting to bring those temperatures up. Now, what's nice is that because of the way that the winds will be the next couple of days, it's not like we're going to get out of control. We'll warm things up a little bit. But it's going to be pretty nice, right? 80 degrees, 11 o'clock, 82 by lunch, 84, 1 p.m. And we'll top off around 87 degrees, at least in the city. Out west, 86, 87. At the beaches, lower 80s, that fresh breeze. It's not what I would say is like, straight up breezy, windy. It's a light breeze, 5 miles an hour. That's not going to do too much. But I will say that looking ahead at this weekend, the winds are going to be picking up just a little bit. Here's the setup we've got for today. All right, front to the north, not making it here. We're just sitting warm. Beautiful air for tomorrow. Same idea for this weekend. Just a quiet, not hot, but a warm couple of days. And given kind of the atmospheric dynamics, we're going to see maybe a sprinkle at best. So let's do this. Let me see if I can find. I'm trying to find. Here it is. This is. I don't know if that this is the extended. Yeah, this isn't necessarily the extended. What I was trying to show you though is like, how by Saturday the winds are going to be picking up. Like Saturday morning, this is not the extended, but it at least does the story. Notice Saturday morning, a mix of clouds and sunshine, but we'll start off with 10, 15 mile per hour breeze, and it'll get even gustier through the day. That's what I was trying to show. I don't have the winds on the extended one, at least for now, but you can kind of see where there will be Friday into Saturday, perhaps even a couple of quick little coastal showers that try to sneak on in, right? You see that there? So it's not going to be an all-day rain type thing. A few showers through Saturday and even into Sunday, but that's going to be about it. So turning a little breezy this weekend, but all in, it's beautiful. That breeze will help to bring up the humidity just a touch, but thankfully it's going to stay in the pleasant category on our muggy meter. So we really are looking good. There's a lot of events this weekend. There's the Puerto Rican Parade and Festival this weekend. It'll be nice, warm, and breezy. There's the Caribbean Fusion Festival down in Kissimmee. I picked this background just because, like, what's more Caribbean than that color water and a catamaran? And I made this background for our sister station, WPBF. They have a Bahamas crossing forecast, and I made it, and I'm like, well, when am I going to ever be able to use this type of a background otherwise? Could I have picked something else for the Caribbean Fusion Festival? Perhaps. But you get what you get, and you don't pitch a fit. In Apopka this weekend, there's the Apopka Art and Foliage Festival. It's going to be beautiful over at Kitlan Nelson Park. Whatever your plans are, things are looking good. Our Saturday and our Sunday includes like maybe a sprinkle. It's not going to be a big problem whatsoever. As a matter of fact, looking ahead to the weekend, just because lower 80s for highs, 10% chance of rain. So they both get a green check mark. So we're looking good there. All right. Sound good? For today, temperatures are going to be a little warmer than average, at least in Orlando. You see, like the beaches were right where we should be. It's going to be a gorgeous, gorgeous day for us. So you gotta love this sort of thing. One thing I do want to point out, though, is that the air quality is still not perfect in Central Florida. We do have some areas, particularly out west of town, like Sumter, Lake Marion. Air quality is a little lower than, normal. We're usually good in the green, but because of some of that smoke from fires the last couple of days, we still have kind of some of that setup. And this is kind of, so this is a graphic Camtran made when she was in Pittsburgh. I actually pulled this from her Pittsburgh computer. So the overall idea atmospherically is that normally the air's all allowed to escape in the atmosphere because the air up top is cooler. And as long as it's cooler, it's able to escape out. But on a day like yesterday, there's what's called a temperature inversion layer where it gets cooler and then it gets warmer real fast and then it gets cooler. And that warm is kind of like the lid to a pot, and that traps smoke and fog and all that fun stuff down at the surface. And so without looking too crazily, SPC soundings. Let's just look at the soundings. Let's just see. All right, so there's no inversion layer today. There was yesterday. Well, there is an inversion layer, but it's a little higher up. Yesterday, the inversion layer was right at the surface. So it's mixing out for the most part. But again, there's some spots where the air quality is a little lower. All right, so it's at least worth mentioning. Not going to be as big of an issue as it was yesterday, but it's at least something to consider. Okay, I'll show you real fast. This is what the inversion layer on the SKU-T looked. This is yesterday, okay? It says this morning. Ignore that. It's yesterday morning. But you can see where the SKU-T, the red going right, means that the temperature is getting warmer with height. It's supposed to go left. So there, right near the surface, was the inversion layer. So, yeah, good times. All right? All right, so forecast here locally is looking good. Let's take a gander at the 7-day forecast, see what's doing across Central Florida. It's a beautiful setup, 87 today. With the winds the way that they are coming in on the ocean, it's going to at least keep us nice and comfortable the next few days. We'll be warm, but at least we're not going to get like boiling hot. Now, by mid to late next week, models are starting to talk about some modifications there, right? And so as is such, could be talking about some warming temperatures for sure. Yeah. Gotta love that. Gotta love that. So anyway, that's kind of what we've got for now. All right. All right, let's talk tropics, my friends. Kind of an interesting little thing going on out there yesterday. So here's a look at the satellite imagery, okay? And yesterday had this little swirl. National Hurricane Center actually even went so far as to tag it. They gave it yesterday a 10% chance of developing. You can see the open swirl out there now. Let me zoom into it just to give us a nice clear view. There's not much there. Lots of wind shear. The water temperatures are not quite warm enough for development, okay? But I like to think of this as a good reminder that hurricane season is right around the corner. So it's worth mentioning. This should not develop into anything going forward. You certainly see the spin, but like the convection, yeah, it's just not. But preseason storms do happen. Remember last year we had that January preseason storm, okay? And then if you go back before that, there wasn't one in 2022, but there was in 21, there was in 20, there was in 2019. So preseason storms are a thing. Does the Hurricane Center go back to this and say, well, for a brief time, it did take on subtropical characteristics? They may. You know, yesterday, did it have what it took? They may say that. We'll see. I hope not, because when they do that, it just gets annoying, if I'm honest with you, because then it's like, well, it's the A named storm, but it was the second named storm of the season, whatever. So anyway, we'll be watching the data, but you can, I mean, it's a good opportunity to remind you that we are right around the corner from the season. First name on the list, by the way, is Alberto. There's all the names for this year. Yep. And we are officially 37 days away from hurricane season. Hurricane Center does start to put out their tropical weather outlooks on the 15th of May. But the season officially starts in 37 days. Taylor says gross. I agree with that. I, for one, am not a fan. So we need to make a post on the Coffee Talk page to take bets on the first storm of the season. Well, at least you know the first name. When will it happen? Well, we've got our long range models we'll look at and all that fun stuff. But to answer your question, Jedi Master Joe, you do not need to board your windows. Jedi Master Joe on YouTube. I had somebody ask me yesterday or 2 days ago, why aren't you broadcasting Coffee Talk on YouTube? And I said, I am. Oh, Cindy. Cindy says, I'll bet $100,000 the first storm will be named Alberto. But what if it's a Monday morning quarterback and the first name storm ends up being a no name? Did you just get into a bad pickle there, Cindy? What if they go back and say the first name storm was a no-name storm? Then you're out $100K. I'm not taking the bet. I'm just saying that it's not a shoe-in. You know? Could get into trouble there. All right, so let's do this. Let's take a look and see what the raw model data is showing. This is the American GI. Now, if you've been with us for a while, you know, especially during hurricane season, we love to take the deep dive on the models. During the quieter season, things are a little different. Gisela, how would a named storm have no name? Yeah, so let's talk about that real fast. If the Hurricane Center names it live, it's a named storm. But like last year, in January, there was a swirl, much like what we were just tracking, that they named like 2 months later. But instead of saying that was Alberto, they said it's a no-name storm. So for the rest of the season, I had to say, yes, this is the B-named storm, but it is the third named storm of the year. Don't you love that? Like, there's just certain intricacies. Look, everything has, they always say the devil's in the details, right? And hurricane tracking is absolutely no exception to that rule. All right, let's see what's doing. On this map, what we look at, this is the American GFS model, and this is what is referred to as mean sea level pressure, MSLP, mean sea level pressure, normalized anomaly, okay? Basically, where's higher pressure and lower pressure. So all that orange, higher pressure, beautiful air. No surprise, we've got beautiful air over top of us. High pressure hanging east, but fading around early May. And we've got, looks like a little front around May 3rd. High pressure building back in. And then at the very end, it's trying to initialize some lowered pressure around the 11th. Now, I would tell you the long-range data would indicate that around the 6th, 7th, and 8th, we should have a storm system around Florida. So there's the 3rd. Maybe the model's just trying to figure it all out. Maybe the model's trying to sniff out the timing and all that fun stuff. This is the 6Z, so it's the current run of the GFS. If I were to go back a run, we'll just come back here. All right, so there's the 3rd, the 4th. It's got something around Florida, just moisture, and then around the 9th, 10th. I think it's just trying to figure out the timing, right? That's the 00Z. Let's go to yesterday's 18Z. High pressure fading early May. Trying to put in some lowered pressure around the 8th and the 9th. Yeah, I mean, like, I think that that's probably the better of the runs. So we'll figure that out. But that's going to be May, like, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. That's going to be a pretty big indicator to us in our long-range forecast just to kind of see how it's measuring out. Now, this is so far out that it's not like the European model does not go that far. You got a little lowered pressure around May 3rd. But if we can go over to the European ensemble plots, there's the 9th. Yeah. Interesting. Interesting. Does this fit in the way that it should? Mm-hmm. Yep, it does. It does. Let's... Maps... GFS ensemble. Actually, GFS control. Yeah, GFS ensemble. Pressure. Locations wise, minimum. Let's come back over here. Oceanic. All right. High pressure's fading. 6th, 7th. Yeah, it's like it's not... Nothing big's showing up on the GFS. The European's kind of getting a little feistier. So, interesting. Interesting. Let's pop up the BSR. Give me 2 seconds to turn. So, what you're looking at there, that's just raw model data. What I'm about to pop up is a long-range forecasting technique that we use. All right. Nice little area of low pressure south of us. Let me just get my bearings. So that's like next week. Nice little storm system south of us. Weak little front coming through. That's like May 3rd / 4th. All right. And then there's a little storm system there. You see that in the Gulf of Mexico? That's May 6th. Yep. So we're starting to see this. We're starting to see this, yeah. We're starting to see the BSRs showing that. Yep. And then there's that next one that the European was even indicating. See that? Nice little front with an area of low pressure trying to pop up. That's like the 10th and the 11th. Huh. Look at you out there. What are you doing out in the Gulf of Mexico? That's like the 12th and the 13th. Mid-May. Will be interesting to see, like mid-May, if there's a little something out in the Gulf. And then we can, of course, take the BSR and run further. And again, this is just looking to see. Yeah, that's the little thing in the Gulf. High pressure building in. And then that's a little Francis. It's the 19th. Then there should be yeah, it's as far out as that goes. Yeah, so, all right. Definitely going to be watching some interesting things here in May. Nothing wicked, right? But like, you know, the weather is going to get interesting. And in terms at least of like talking about tropics, just over a month until hurricane season. So that's where we're at. Right? You can count on crap weather because my hubby is on vacation. You can always, it's like when my kids are when I'm off, the kids are always sick. So yeah. Is that still a thing, Mike Hansen? I tell you who's not. The cadets. Saharan dust, yeah. Saharan dust is definitely out there, already injecting itself out there. Ba, 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 ba. Here's the Saharan air layer. Mike. Yeah, so you can see very clearly the Saharan dust already in the Caribbean, the equatorial Atlantic, and back over to Africa. Yeah. Mary Joanne, when will we see Jeremy and Phil back? So the tropics are trying to make us crazy again. Yeah, I need to email. I've got a couple of things I need to chat with Phil about. And one of them will be certainly getting him on Coffee Talk. And then Jeremy and I were chatting yesterday about doing a Tracking the Tropics kind of in early May, just to look at some dates and some timelines to watch for during the month of May. Lucas over on YouTube, I agree, buddy. Terrible. So yeah, we're definitely going to start to chat more and more about the tropics here in the next couple of weeks. Woof. Do we end up with a preseason storm this year? We'll have to see. If you've not seen our long-range hurricane forecast, I certainly always invite you to check it out. wesh.com/hurricane forecast. That's where to find it. The data for this year, at least in terms of the numbers, we're forecasting 16 to 20 named storms, 8 to 10 hurricanes, and 3 to 5 major hurricanes. That's our forecast. And in terms of hotspots for this year, we're really highlighting the northern and eastern Gulf coasts, and then certainly through parts of the Carolinas as well. Yeah. Yep. So I see a couple of you asking like where we are in terms of the cycle. So let me pull up my Excel spreadsheet so that I can be accurate with you. Stand by. I'm pulling it up. I'm not working today. No. I've got a test this morning, and then I've got a lunch today. All right. Stand by one, Houston. Hold on. I just need to... Hold on. Hang on, Sloopy, hang on. No. Excel's being a bear this morning. Copy. Paste. I don't need you to be bold. Copy. Paste. I haven't updated this in a second. Give me 2 seconds. I'm sorry. Burris, you're not making good TV. Thank God it's not on TV, right? All right. So where are we today? Today is April 25th. So we are on cycle day 11. So cycle day 11 is the 20th. So of October 20th. So the next feature in about 10 days, is going to be, big surprise, this one. So in about 10 days. So that would be about the 5th-ish, 6th-ish of May, right? We know that. So May 5th or 6th, let's pop back up the raw model data here. Let me go back to the regular GFS. Let's go back to the Caribbean. Let's go to pressure, normalized anomaly. May 5th, 6th. Do we see an area of low pressure? So like it's not the current run of the GFS is not showing anything. We go back a run, and you've kind of got some low pressure trying to show up there to the north, not really figuring out if it go 2 model runs back. Kind of showing some low pressure around there, right? So it's not figuring it out a ton. This is the part of the pattern, though, around May 5th, 6th, that we should be there, right? So the northern Gulf Coast into the Carolinas, there's definitely indicators on the 18Z model of something in the Carolinas. And if we look at the European, it's definitely got something trying to be around. Just lowered pressure around, the 5th and the 6th. give or take a day or two, but there's indicators. So yeah, that's the part of the pattern we'll be watching. But that's where we are. So we are today at about October 20th. And then what that means is then if October 30th, so we've got about 25 days until the first big one for our area. About 25 days or so. The Gulf to Florida low. Okay, that's going to be one we really have to watch. And that's going to be around kind of the second half of May will be our next version of this. Right? So, yeah. Those are the dates to me I'll be very closely watching, at least the next version. Now, that said, that like May 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th time frame, definitely watching that because we don't have so many of these cycles until we get into hurricane season. And the one thing that Jeremy and I talked about is like, we need to watch this next version to see, do we need to nudge dates? Our last chance before hurricane season. And we've told you, like, when we don't adjust the forecast, we mean like the numbers we've got are what we're sticking with. The hot spots we've got are what we're sticking with. But we may need to massage a date here or there, just kind of watching the cycles go through. So we'll get there. We'll get there. Right? Mickey's asking, I'll be curious if the GFS does its famous fantasy megastorms this year. Oh, the GFS is so popular to do it. Janice, your test has everyone curious. It's an FA. It's a flying thing. It's a flying thing. What is? I'm like over here in analysis mode. Are you guys freaking out about my test? Is that what's happening right now? Yeah, it's a flying test. Everybody's freaking out about. Yeah, it's a flying test. I see Kelly says, "Here's a hint: Eric's test with an airplane." Yeah, it's an airplane test. Oh my gosh. Why would you be freaking out if I was taking a test? Why would you be freaking out anyway? Oh, no. I thought you were having a colonoscopy. No. I mean, I'm drinking coffee. I don't think I'm allowed to drink coffee if I'm having a... Don't I have to have had a cleansing situation? No colonoscopy. No, it's an actual... I have to sit down and see if I can remember the things. Jeez Louise. No colonoscopy. So, all of that to say, it's beautiful for now, but getting into May, we're going to really have to watch and see how this all runs through. We're not freaking out. We're making fun comments. Okay, that's fine. Oh, the speculation. All is good. Yes, Eric, we discussed your colon. Aren't you thrilled? Can I tell you a story real fast about... I've had one colonoscopy. I have. I'm turning 40 in a couple of days, but I've already had my first colonoscopy. This is all stuff that you never expect your friendly neighborhood weatherman to talk about. Okay, so raise your hand if you've ever had a colonoscopy. Like, you have to go through the whole process. So I'm in my gown with my tuchus hanging out, and I guess I'm on like a portable bed. They've taken me from one exam room to another room, whatever. Anyway, all right. So my tuchus is out. Things you never thought you were going to talk about on a public venue like this. So I get into the room, and they're about to gas me. Mike says, there's the line. We conjugate about a mile past the line. So they're about to gas me to put me under, and the nurse comes up and says, we love you in our house. Is there any chance I could take a selfie with you? And I'm just thinking to myself in this moment, like, well, that's not what I expected. And so I said the first thing that came to mind, which is, well, you're going to see the inside of my tuchus. So, yeah, why not take a selfie? You're going to see me inside and out. So that was fun. That's my colonoscopy story. And then my stepfather drove me, and then we went to tacos afterward. Good times. Campeche, anyone? My God, if my boss ever watched these coffee talks, she'd be like, do me a favor and not talk about the inside of your tuchus, please. Oh my God. So they ran a camera through your A-Bear. My God. Oliver. Good job for paying attention. Also, oh my God. Oh my God. I had tacos. I had no problem, Kelly. Yeah. Oh man. I've had 4. No sleeping. I like to watch the screen. Can you be awake for this? Whoa. Wow. Okay. All right. Oh, geez, Audra. Audra says I had an endoscopy and told the doctor he was hot. Oh, my God, that's funny. Taylor, you were already cleared out and went for tacos? It was a good taco place. It wasn't Taco Bell. Janice says we're a transparent group. We do. We tell each other the things, right? Oh, man. Jessica says, I usually watch more during hurricane season. Is it almost that time? Yeah, I feel like we've spent some time today discussing all of that. Thankfully, nothing today. But getting into May, we've got a few more breadcrumbs to watch for, and we certainly need to do that. So we will be doing that. Oh, man. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That's so funny, Mike. That's a good one. That's a good story. Yeah, we are family. That's right, Joanne. All right. Any questions about the forecast? Now that you know what my test is and what it is not. Oh, man. Too funny. Yukon. I'm so glad I got us off the rails with Colin. Thank you. Thank you for that, Yukon. You're always good for something. Usually it's not productive, but you're always good for something. All right. Questions, comments, concerns about anything. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful couple days. Yes, you can stay awake. I don't think I'd want to. Cindy says, no more questions about Erica's tuchus. Move along. Exactly. All right. That's all I got. I'm going to go do the things. Sound good? Really glad we're not dealing with the tropics yet. We'll be there. Oh my God, Taylor. No rain for a minute. I mean, there's a sprinkle or two here or there, but otherwise we're okay. All right, people. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you so much for hanging out for Coffee Talk. We'll do it again tomorrow. Sound good? Sound good. All right. Bye, y'all. Take care.